What's going on, YouTube? This is the AlphonZeus of the Matrix of Gradelock here. I've been painting orcs, this is why my hands look like this. So this is a deck profile that I got. This is like take 3. I've been trying to make a good thing with Shockwave. I like the control aspect of this guy. To be able to look at the top of my card, to look at the top card of my deck at any time is great. Sometimes I do it just to check, and sometimes I need to do the double check because I want to make sure what card is going to be coming off when I use this skill. Now, it took me a while. I had 3 different builds that I wanted to brew up and see what I wanted to do. And after 3 weeks, this is the build that I think would be the most optimal. So as our character lineups you see here, in the main lineup, of course you have Major Shockwave, Applied Science, the Scientist. Guys, a 14-star character, 6 attack, 17 health, 3 defense on alt mode. Then pumps up to 7 attack and bumps down to 2 defense in his bot mode. Of course, the great symmetric effect it has here is that you can look at the top card of your deck at any time. But alt mode, you can flip when you flip to alt mode. I draw and my opponent discards a card, which is great, or scraps a card. And you know that's awesome because it's pretty much subtle card advantage of gaining over time. And then in his bot mode, I get to, if the top card of my deck is a Decepticon card or a secret action, I can play it as though it was in my hand. So it gives me a little extra card advantage while I'm in bot mode to see if I want to play something. And that's, say, our main leader here. Of course, Flame War. Flame War is hype. This is a great common transformer. Of course, I'm not going to be flipping her to alt mode often. It's pretty much 3 attack, 1 defense on one side, 3 attack, 1 defense on the other side. And yes, I managed to get the promo gold foil. That looks pretty nice. But at least, key thing here is each of my characters has tough 1, so at least I have an extra chance to, you know, live by 1, survive another turn. It really did make a difference, and you know, of course, I would always have some trouble realizing that, oh, I'm not just flipping 2 anymore, I'm flipping 3 because of Flame War while she's out. And then finally, the third character was a bit of a contention for a while. I started out with Nightstick. I thought he was going to be, you know, pretty good at 6 stars, and with double black, I can make my opponent discard a card. But then I realized it was, you know, too heavy. And then I tried out another 5-star, which was Laserbeak, and he was okay because, you know, his Pierce 2 is always nice, and to be able to tap into play a secret action. Although I'd rather have him attack while I'm in Pierce, but something didn't mesh well. And then in came Raider Roadhugger. So even though he's not range, he's melee, he's a car, but he's interesting for the fact that he can try and sneak in damage, and he won't be hit that often because Flame War and Major Shockwave will probably get the most of his attacks. I probably would attack with him last because some cards will come up with later. The interesting perk of this guy is that he has stealth while he's untapped. So as long as I attack with these 2, this guy's not going to be taking damage for a while, which means that I can still get 3 attacks in every single turn, every single round of combat, which would be, you know, a couple turns. And so having stealth while untapped, it's great. You know, they're going to have to play cards to try and, you know, hate on it so they can take it out early, because this guy can pack a punch. On his bot mode, I can tap and scrap a defense card from my hand to give a character +3 attack, which is pretty much like, you know, give a leap of battle. And it's great, although I haven't like found many opportunities to use it yet. I've been usually sticking to his alt mode side just so I can like kind of safely get in damage so that he's not really being a target of much until, say, the end game. So that's my character slots. My sideboard, I started out thinking maybe like, you know, double Shockwave would be nice, but unless I have something to help me get through and ping more damage, it's tough. Because my first build was trying to do a Sonic Scramble heavy discard build, but then I would just give my opponent more epic ways to win off their top decks. So unfortunately, you know, he's going to be in the wing for a while. And here comes Motormaster. Now Motormaster is interesting because he's the leader of the Stunticons. However, what I realized is that his alt mode skill is that your other characters can't take non-attack damage. So when people are running stuff like Aimless, people probably have the Metroflex ping, other stuff like that. Motormaster can come into play to help alleviate some of that stress. And at least unlike Roadhugger, guy has 2 defense. He has a decent, you know, 2 attack for his star value, and 8 health. it does make a difference in some situations. So I put him in the sideboard. Now, as I get the characters out, let's get to the actions. Now, I have actions, upgrades, and secret actions because, of course, with Major Shockwave here, secret actions are a very nice specialty. So, of course, with the actions, leap in the battle, give a character +3 attack until the end of the turn. Amazing card. Really, you know, get that extra damage in to cause your opponent to think like, all right, I gotta have more tough, I gotta have more ways to defend myself. Really good defensive card to have. Other ones, your sec checks, as I like to call them, security checkpoints. A lot of times when I open this card, if I go second and I get to scrap 3 upgrades from their hand, or 4 upgrades if they don't, you know, if they have all upgrades in hand, it's a great feeling. And of course it goes with Major Shockwave's theme of having to discard the hand and turn everything into a top deck game, which makes things a little bit more epic for my opponent if he or she wins. Then I have 3 pep talks. I am interested in trying to do alternate arts. I like seeing the different artworks of the cards. Drawing 2 cards is great, especially after I would try and get advantage back, because a lot of times I'll play cards, play out cards, and you know, you always need to replenish it. And so having your shout out Pot of Greed in the deck, it helps a lot. Then I have my brainstorms, because of course, when in actions, brainstorms and OG, of course, different arts. To be able to play, and then knowing the rolling now of how when you play brainstorm, you play the 2 cards that are your actions, and then you resolve those triggers, which is nice because at least it gives them a chance to like, all right, if you have a brainstorm, then that means you have to have those 2 actions in play first before you start resolving them. So brainstorm is good to help me ramp up and really start playing actions, secret actions, etc. And then vaporize. Now vaporize has helped me a lot because it gets rid of aimless. It gets rid of some pesky ones like force field, you know, tough paddings, extra padding. I apologize. Just getting rid of anything that would make things horrifying to you know, attack against. They always hated when I would swing in and they would fully defend it, which, you know, would cause me to run Pierce, which you'll see later. But then you realize I have 24 stars. So what's my 25th star? Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is great because the fact that it goes with Major Shockwave and to be able to look at the card and realize like, okay, I know at least half of Leap of Faith will be a great card to have. Because to be able to scrap 2 cards in the deck and then be able to play them, awesome. I do love Leap of Faith, probably one of the best star cards out there. And running in Shockwave, it helps make the play anticipate better. Because you can see at least, you can guarantee 1 card. Guaranteeing 1 card at least is great, but if you get 2, oh my word, advantage goes up insanely. And so these are my actions. You know, these are some of the staple ones you've seen, maybe some new ones, I'm not sure. This is what I decided on. Now for the weapons, the upgrades. So of course you gotta run Shockwave's main weapon, LV Gamma Disruptor Launcher. So, gives Shockwave +2 attack, and unfortunately only Shockwave can equip it. But when he's played, your opponent discards a card. And it's awesome because I can not only make my opponent discard cards for my action, but I can make my opponent discard cards for his or her upgrade. And it's also Decepticon cards, so Major Shockwave's bot mode can also play it from the deck. And from the top card of the deck, and it's great. So, very good one, helps hit bigger numbers and, you know, really settles the score in a way. Then Laser Cutlass comes into play. Laser Cutlass is probably one of the latest additions I made to the deck. I thought that I wouldn't need Pierce that often, but then I realized I would run Frame War and Road Hugger to stick damage, and so being able to slap on a Pierce 3 when, you know, when they're at 4 damage, that's fine. Getting in 3 damage every single turn, it amounts because you're defending so much that you're just slowly gaining the game, and as long as they don't unga bunga you, then, you know, you can go ahead and close out the game slowly with a grind, but it's awesome. Then, of course, since we're a defensive deck, we gotta run the handheld blasters. I never equipped them because Laser Cutlass and LV Gamma Disruptor I've seen from Shockwave's, you know, card advantage skill. So it's always nice to see them on double blue. And of course, you know, knowing that I can always check the top card of my deck and seeing that there's a handheld blaster, I know that at least 2 of that damage will be prevented. And so that's the weapons. Now for armors, you gotta have force field, different arts as usual. Being able to kind of absorb really big Unga Bunga hits. Taking instead of 21 damage, you take 4 damage. It's a godsend, so your opponent will have to try and hit magic numbers. Put Flame War to 6, put Shockwave to 13, put Roadhogger to 3. Because, you know, at that point, even the 4 damage would be a lethal shot on any of them. But Force Field has always come in pretty clutch, and the White Pip always helps to flip more defensive triggers. And finally, since we have 2 specialists at least, Field Communicators. That with Shockwave, oh my word. It helps guarantee so much that it removes the amount of RNG. It removes so much RNG. It's awesome. The fact that I can put on Flame War, I can put it on Shockwave, and although I can't put it on Roadhogger, I don't mind because at least I can just recycle it off of either of the 2 characters that are specialists. So it's good. I can still play it on the Roadhogger, but you know, being able to play a card for free off your upgrade is awesome. And so those are the upgrades that I run. And so we have the secret actions. Now, secret actions, I started with 3 special ops missions. I bumped it down to 1 because I'm starting to see them a bit too much. And with the amount of secret actions I'm running, I can't be willing to sacrifice so much time to, you know, dedicate to try and set things up. And secret actions are interesting because, you know, in the main deck, it's hard to prepare for every single matchup, but at least having some sort of repertoire, especially with Shockwave's Advantage Engine and being able to play secret actions from the top of your deck, it helps a lot with, you know, running not full play sets of, which, you know, I'm trying out, it looks okay. So, of course, 2 Battlefield Report. Battlefield Report's great because if you have handheld blasters in hand, if you have security checkpoints in hand that you don't need, you can draw 2 and put that double blue on top to make sure that your character is going to be absorbing 2 damage of that, which is good. Of course, you know, not with Pierce. And second, I would do Take Cover. Now, Take Cover is interesting because I would run into decks that maybe would be heavy orange, heavy blue, and I'm not sure if I would be taking non-attack damage. It would take me maybe 2 turns or so to try and realize like what game plan they're going for. They could be going all in on defense, which is what Battlefield Reports here. But if they have some sort of surprise non-attack damage, Take Covers in there. Especially if, say, I'm on low health, say like, you know, if any of these guys are on 2 HP, 3 HP or less, being able to do Take Cover and to kind of like help negate an action that would kill one of my characters, it helps out. So that's why I keep Take Cover at 2. Now, I play Hiding Spot. Now, Hiding Spot's interesting because I like the Black Pit. And being able to also have Laser Cutlass on in order to make that Pierce 3 into a Pierce 4, it helps and it hurts. So, especially if they have extra padding, especially if they have other cards that would, like, keep flipping cards on defense. I love sticking damage because Pierce damage is probably one of my favorite parts of the game. Because sometimes games can go too crazy. And then finally, I play Infiltrate. Now, 2 Infiltrate's interesting because, you know, if I do go up against the Unga Bunga decks, they play Peace to Tyranny, they play, you know, Peace to Tyranny, they play any orange action. Peace to Tyranny is probably one of the biggest ones. I get to negate that action, so we have a counter spell here to help negate that. So, as you see here, I have 10 secret actions, oh no, 8 secret actions, I apologize, with 1 special ops missions to kind of help out with playing multiple at the same time, especially when they clog up. So this is the repertoire that I have for Shockwave at the moment, and that is the main deck. So with the main deck out of the way, let me get to the sideboard. Now sideboard's interesting because there's some cards I was thinking of putting in, cards I was thinking of putting out. Now, the first thing I would do, Scowl's Blaster. I keep them at 2 because it's at least techable. Running 2 is fine because if you see it and I'm running against Autobots, I might as well get a guaranteed Pierce 2 out of it. I might take out some other weapons and, you know, because, you know, I would probably be more comfortable with having another +2 attack to ensure that I will be doing Pierce damage no matter what.
That was the first hack. That's the one.
Now, other stuff, like as you see, Take Cover and Infiltrate. Just in case if I run into more decks, it would be a interesting one along with special ops missions. If I would have a need for more secret actions, if these 2 are going in, I might as well put in another special ops mission, because if they're going to be, you know, banking on making these big action turns, being able to pump their RC up for like, you know, 12 attack or pump up stuff, I want to be able to prepare for that for game 2, so I'd have this, and that makes up half of it. Now, EMP Wave, this would be, EMP Wave would be my side deck card in case I would run up against, like, Insecticons or car shops, Hot Wheels, as some people call it, because I'd rather have a turn where I can just feel comfortable with just getting my card advantage going, and then when we untap, they can only swing with one character. It helps a lot when, you know, they do untap shenanigans. So if they get to try and, like, you know, ramp up and get an extra attack in before the round of combat ends, I feel like it's going to be a good one. Now, the remaining 4 cards of the deck is a little bit up for grabs. I am considering bumping up heavy-handed because I like heavy-handed a lot because I like being bigger than the opposing star character I am. And given that Shockwave, Major Shockwave in particular, is 14 stars, it gets over a lot of stuff. Not many character cards are over 14 stars or even matching 14 stars. And so that's why I would put in heavy-handed. I'll probably put in 2 more just in case. And of course, the remaining 3 are kind of flex spots. Multi-tools are interesting if I want to try and ramp up the amount of discard that I have. So if I want to play more of the Disruptor Launcher or more of, say, Laser Cutlasses. It's an interesting tech, but although these 3 cards, I'm probably going to switch them out for another heavy-handed and turn these into the bigger they are. So I have them in my Metroplex sideboard, but I think this would be the only change that I would make at this rate, because having more Pierces is awesome. And the awkward part is seeing other decks that would run 5-star cards, 6-star cards. It's gonna be interesting to see how, like, bigger they are versus heavy-handed would run. But you know, having more Pierce is nice, and being able to Pierce 4 is definitely a great thing to have. But outside of that, that's pretty much how my sideboard is at the moment. As far as the meta that I've been playing in, I do have friends that play Unga Bunga, Hot Wheels, car shops, decks with, you know, Prowl, Bumblebee, Wheeljack, as well as OG, you know, Dinobots, or even just RC Grimlock and Aimless, or RC Grimlock and another card, and, you know, just, you know, getting in for big damage every turn. I have people that like to do an infinite turn with Alita, and then I have other my play group in particular. They all have different takes. So I know Mama John, he has Soundwave decks. Henry has General Megatron, and I would come in with Shockwave. I do know that there's some folks that want to try out, like, Firecons or some of the other combiner bots. But yeah, my meta's been pretty diverse, so it's interesting trying to prepare for all of that. I'm hoping to main this deck for a while. I hope that Shockwave is still going to be relevant as we get into the next decks. And yeah, so that is it for the deck profile. If you have any comments on it, any more evolutions to Shockwave, whether it's a different character or a different way to run my my sideboard, please feel free to comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the AlphonZeus of the Matrix Gradelock, signing out, guys. Take care. Peace. Well, I'm not she's not oh my god.